In a moment, we will be discussing how to avoid the four most common but avoidable problems plaguing many EPO virus scan deployments. First, we want to be able to validate that every endpoint has the EPO agent installed and has the correct version. Like most endpoint management solutions, EPO's architecture relies on agents installed on every managed endpoint in the organization. These agents must be configured accurately on each endpoint for the solution to be available and effective. Unfortunately, agent-based technologies are susceptible to common weaknesses. Agents themselves can be disabled or missing, rendering the associated solution uselessly unavailable. Next, we want to validate that the 5 required services and processes associated with VirusScan are configured and running correctly. If any one of these fails because it is stopped, it is a critical problem that the EPO console cannot remediate alone or immediately resolve. Last, we want to validate that the DAT file is up to date within the acceptable guidelines. Hi, my name is Paul Wallen with PromiseSec. In this session, I'm going to show you how PromiseSec's unique agentless technology provides 100% visibility and control of your endpoints, which can help and improve your McAfee experience. Let's go ahead and get started. First, we need to choose an IP range or group of machines to inspect. There are several ways we can do this, including selecting a hostname, an IP range, or through integration with Active Directory, which is probably the most common method used in most enterprises that utilize the PromiseSec solution. As you can see, I have selected 6 various hosts, which have been added to our inspection in the pane here. Here you can select by single host, by the domain, show the OUs, you can import the whole container, the group or specific objects in the Active Directory, and the IP range. In this part of the module, we will review how we define the processes, service, and registry settings to make sure we can validate the results. Here, under our user defined, we go to our Windows user defined and we click on our services tabs. We can bring up the local machine services, and as you can see, we can see the 5 important services defined by the installation of McAfee Virus Scan on the endpoint. McAfee Engine Service, McAfee Framework Service, McAfee McShield, McAfee Task Manager, and McAfee Validation Service. Here, as you can see, these are the display name and then the actual service name that is defined by the installation. Here, we can go into the Services tab, and we have them already predefined for you on the PromiseSec website that you can download and import directly into Spectator. Here, we see the 5 services defined. If we find any of them off, we have the ability to click the Repair Service tab, and if they are off, turn them on, and if they're disabled, to put the status into running. Here we can make sure that the services are always running and available as a machine boots up. Associated with those services are the associated processes. As you can see, you see the 5 associated processes that are available there as well. The VirusScan engine, the Task Manager, the EPO agent, most important, the on-access scanner, and the validation service. When we define these, we can see the processes running in our results. If we find them not running, then we can do right-click remediation and remediate the endpoint. Under the Registry tab, this is where we define the criteria for reporting on the versions. Here, as you can see, under DAT version date, we have the criteria already defined. Very simply, we can click on our Registry Builder and dive down into it and pull this information out from HKey Local Machine, Software, McAfee, click on the McAfee group, click on the AV engine. As you can see, we see the results. Here is where we can import this information by highlighting it, right-clicking on it, looking for both the value and data. The trick is to get any version that is available on the endpoint is to take out the registry data and put in any. By doing such, you will get any information that is installed of McAfee on the endpoint. This ensures that if you have McAfee VirusScan 8.0, 8.5, or 8.7, you get the actual information out. You could do it by just selecting any of the other ones as well. As you can see, we've predefined these for you and are available for you. When you run the inspection, these will be the results that will be generated for you. These are the results below. We're going to select on going to expand our result view and go to full screen. Here we have the ability to sort through all the results of our inspection. Here we can sort on by the object column. Here we're going to sort together all the McAfee virus scan and spyware versions together. As you can see, we have the version number and including the build numbers that are listed below. Here we can also see that processes and services will be displayed as well. Here we found the McShield service was turned off. During the inspection, we had defined the criteria during the query to go ahead and if it found a specific service turned off or disabled, to specifically turn it back on, set it to automatic, and restart the process. This is very important to make sure that the endpoint's posture is always on and protected. Here we can also sort through more information. We can even check the processes of the on-access scanner is running. Here we've discovered also that one of the endpoints is pending a system reboot because we can see the system string here as well. We can check and make sure as a group by sorting on this object column that all the processes are running. Also important is to know what version of the installer was used to install McAfee Virus Scan. If asked by McAfee support, this information can be given as well. Here as well, we can sort by the detail columns and go even to the other degree of checking to make sure what's there. As you can see on one of the endpoints, we have found that the engine service, framework, McShield, task manager, and validation services are not running. Here we can make a determination to right-click and remediate. Continuing on with the module, one of the things we must focus on is making sure now that we can remediate the endpoint after discovering inconsistencies on the endpoint. Here we'll expand our view and go to full screen. Here at the top on our Server 2008 line, we have found that one of the antivirus definitions files are out of date. A most common problem that happens in the McAfee deployment of virus scan. Here we can go to the user-defined actions and we can kick off a McAfee auto update on the local endpoint. We have the capability of doing that. Here, as you can see, we're making a local function call down to the endpoint and activating McUpdate to go out to the internet and update itself. Here again, we're not trying to replace EPO, we're trying to enhance it by immediately solving a problem that is found on the fly. Here as well, we have found that the McShield service had been turned off. It was turned on, started, and set to automatic. We had defined that previously in the module by going to our user-defined. To configure a user-defined action, simply click on the user-defined action, and as you can see, we've set up 3 defined actions. A host no response, send a ping down to it. McAfee auto update, or Stinger. Utilizing the Stinger executable provided by McAfee, you can launch the executable from the endpoint if it's located there, or from a share. Here, when you right-click on any of it, you have the ability, any of the results, you have the ability to go ahead and do that. Thanks for watching. For a free, no-obligation trial of this solution, contact us via email at sales@promisec.com or visit us on the web at www.promisec.com.